Welcome to Module 3, Alternatives to Top-Down Leadership. You know, I was speaking to a group of executives in Chicago on top of one of those big, beautiful buildings downtown about the topic of servant leadership. And the more I got into it, the more I sensed around this boardroom and this table pushback. These guys were not buying it, and they were basically saying to me, Hans, we cannot show weakness or we'll be eaten alive. Well, of course, that was corporate America, but you know, I'm not talking about weakness when I talk about servant leadership. That's why I love the example of Jesus. Nobody would accuse him of being weak or of being a milquetoast or being spineless. He was an extremely strong leader on planet Earth as he unfolded his mission, but he was a servant leader. What is the alternative? You know, finally, I think these leaders got the idea when I spoke to them long enough and kind of unpacked what servant leader is and what it isn't. It's not weakness. It's carrying people on your heart. It's caring about the value of people. You know, that's really the key. If you were to ask me what is the key to servant leadership, it is valuing the people you lead and seeing them as your greatest resource. My wife works for a great company called NSA, Juice Plus, and the company's mission is to provide a stable and lasting company that will help as many people as possible realize their dreams. I love that. That is the mission statement of the president, Jay Martin, a powerful corporate executive who realizes if he helps people realize their dreams, he will fulfill his dreams. You see, that's servant leadership. Young people today, you know, I'm not a spring chicken. I've been around for a while. I've been leading for 30 years. I love leading young people, and you're listening and you're probably young and you want to learn how to be a better leader. I believe in you. I believe in your generation. And I've learned how to turn on and how to turn off people in the workplace. Here's a list I have in the top 10 mistakes leaders make on page 30, turn-ons and turn-offs. I think it's an important list. What younger generations like in the workplace, recognition and praise, time spent with the managers. As I was the president and CEO of our nonprofit, I found that the young people just loved to hang out with me, and I'd buy them pizza and we'd have lunch together and just talk. And they said, you know, Hans, what I appreciate about you is I can call you by your first name and I sense I have access to you. You know, that's really important for the young generations, not to have layers of bureaucracy between them and the leadership. Learning how their current work is making a difference. I found that people want to know the context. How is what I'm doing making a difference in the big picture? Fun at work, you know, that's a huge thing. Relaxed, informal environments. Small, unexpected rewards for jobs well done. One thing I enjoy doing is taking a department out to lunch, just spontaneously. Hey guys, let's just all go out to lunch. Let's go have some Chinese food and let's just have some fun and talk. Those are turn-ons. Turn-offs for the young generations, hearing about the past, especially my past. Inflexible about time, workaholism, being watched and scrutinized and controlled, feeling pressure to do things the old traditional way, disparaging comments about your generation's tastes and styles, and feeling disrespected. You know, I am so positive about the up-and-coming generations, and I want to do everything I can to empower and encourage them. I think there's a treasure in them. Let's talk about the alternatives to top-down leadership. Here's 5 alternatives. Participatory management. Number 2, the facilitator style of leadership, which means you're farming all the great ideas from the troops. If you're the leader, the buck stops with you and you have to be responsible. I don't believe you can vote on every decision, but I do believe facilitator style of leadership is building consensus. Another word for that, number 3, is democratic leadership style, in the sense that I'm gonna get the pulse and the feel. I'm not going to be a dictator. Flat organizations, number 4, is a great alternative to top-down. The less power distance you can create between the top and the bottom of the organization, the better. And de-layer and get rid of senseless, useless layers of bureaucracy. People, especially young people, want to have access to leadership. And number 5, servant leadership, a great alternative to top-down leadership. You know, again, people say, does this really work? Does this really work out there? One of my favorite books on this topic is Jim Collins' red book, I call it, Good to Great. And in Good to Great, Jim Collins analyzed over 1,400 companies to find out what made them jump from being good to being great and sustaining that in a period of 15 years. Amazing what he learned about those great companies. You know what he discovered in those great companies? Level 5 leaders. They were all led by level 5 leaders. And here's the correct characteristic of a level 5 leader. They were servant leaders. They were humble. They listened and learned constantly. They put the company above their own personal goals, and they valued employees first. There's proof from a massive scientific study of great companies. They are led by truly servant leaders. And remember again, the alternative to top-down leadership, servant leadership, valuing your people first and foremost. Go to hansfinzel.com to check out my Leadership Answer Man podcast and other great resources for taking your leadership to the next level.